Hi, my name's Claire Wells and I'm the General Manager for McGrath's company-owned property management portfolios in Queensland. I wanted to reach out by video with some really important updates about changes to rental laws in Queensland. You may be aware earlier in the year, new bills were passed in Parliament where we saw some of those changes introduced on the 1st of June, which I shared with you by email. There are more changes that will commence on the 30th of September this year and the remainder of those to follow in May 2025. Today I wanted to run through those changes that will come into effect from September 30. There will be a limitation on the maximum amount of bond that we are able to request to just 4 weeks rent. For the majority of bonds in Queensland this is already the case, but for those tenants who currently have more than 4 weeks held with the RTA, they will be eligible for a refund of that excess amount. Another change will require tenants to be provided with 2 ways to pay rent, including at least one fee-free method. I'm pleased to advise that McGrath adopted these standards many years ago, so for our tenants there'll be no changes or disruption to rent payments. The third change requires utility bills that a tenant is responsible for to be invoiced to them for payment within 4 weeks of that issue date. Many of McGrath's property owners already have those bills issued directly to us, so we can pay them from rent collected before instantly issuing onto tenants for reimbursement. We do not charge any extra for this service, so do speak with your property manager if it's something you're interested in arranging. For those who prefer to continue to receive those bills directly, it's just really important that you provide your property manager with a copy nice and early so that they've got enough time to meet that 4-week deadline. Another change requires any claim against the rental bond at vacate to be substantiated within 14 days. This means that we must now provide evidence to a tenant that supports our claim against the bond, which may include receipts, repair quotes, and details of unpaid rent. The process hasn't changed here, it's the introduction of that 14-day limit that has. And finally, the last and probably the most significant change to Queensland rental laws to become effective this month is the limit on the costs to a tenant when breaking lease. Similar to laws that already exist in other states, Queensland's break lease costs will now be fixed. Until this month, the Act allowed us to charge a tenant a break lease fee that would reimburse you for all costs associated with finding a new tenant, which we knew to be the letting fee, advertising and rent up until a new tenant took over. The new break lease fees will be determined on how much of the tenancy duration has passed when the tenant vacates. This fee will be equivalent to either 1, 2, 3 or 4 weeks rent based on time served. The longer they have been in the property during that fixed term agreement, the lower the fee becomes. There is a prescribed formula which will be shared with you if and when the case arises. Other than normal tenancy ending relating costs such as utility bills and perhaps things like cleaning, no other costs can be charged to a tenant when breaking lease. So the big change we'll see here is that we can no longer pass on those advertising costs. Our property managers are well trained on the new legislation and are ready to ensure that your tenancies are compliant. I will be in touch again next year to update you on the remainder of the changes to be rolled out. But in the meantime, your property manager is available to answer any questions you might have, so do reach out. It's our important role to ensure you are well informed. May I also take this time to thank you for being a valued client and part of the McGrath family.